Hello, everyone. This is Dr. Bright Keswani, and we are uh, in the lecture Software Engineering Fundamentals. We are learning software engineering fundamentals, and today's lecture is based on software lifecycle models. Uh, the contents of this lecture is firstly we will discuss about general introduction about software lifecycle models. Then uh, we will discuss about essence of software lifecycle models, and then we will discuss about the classical sequential software development lifecycle. So first of all, uh, as you know that the various activities that are undertaken when developing softwares are commonly modeled as a software development lifecycle that is called as SDLC. The software development lifecycle begins with the identification of requirements for software and ends with the retirement of the software, which is this thought is delivered in 1987. That In the software development lifecycle, the lifecycle begins with the identification of requirement for the software and ends with the retirement of the software. Okay, the software development lifecycle does not exist by itself. It is in fact part of an overall product lifecycle. So within the product lifecycle, software will undergo maintenance to correct errors and to comply with changes to requirements. The simplest overall form is where the product is just software, but it can become more complicated with multiple software developments, each forming part of an overall system to comprises a product. And this type of phenomena is given in 1983 by Jackson. What Jackson said that within the product life cycle, software will undergo maintenance to correct errors. Okay, as per the environment, as per the requirement of the client. The software development life cycle is a progression of high level tasks that are used to develop software. The life cycle model choice is the first step in the project planning process. Choice of model is the first step of the project planning process, and there is a number of different models for software development life cycles, and ultimately the choice of a life cycle model determines the organization of software development activities over time, affecting when software will be delivered, how often, and with what resources. So we can say that the SDLC, the software development life cycle, is a life cycle of a software development process, and through uh, SDLC, we can easily build our software. We can easily develop our software through in an very effective manner. Okay, so a choice of software lifecycle model may be a new concept to many project planners because most methodologies in the past were really approaches that included an embedded lifecycle model. Typically, methodology architects assume use of waterfall lifecycle, which is a very common method of common model uh, in 1960s. Okay, when software engineering introduced. So methodology architects assumes use of the waterfall lifecycle model, and today's planners need more options in lifecycle models. Methodologies, they have more options, more methodologies, more methods, more tools to be effective in satisfying the challenging demand of higher quality software faster and cheaper. So, why faster? Faster means when you work fast in a fast manner, you can save the money. So, uh, if you want to produce cheapest softwares, if you want to produce quality softwares, you should adopt a proper life cycle software life cycle model. Okay, the choice of life cycle model begins building the project plan by arranging what need to be done for a project uh, in the proper sequence also. So sequencing is very important, and life cycle software development life cycle models, each and every model suggests some common steps to build a system, to build a software. Once the order dependencies and number of planned repetitions of processes are decided and entered into the plan, decisions can be made on how to accomplish those processes through choices of methodologies, methods, and tools. So, if we suggest, if we decided the appropriate model, life cycle model, then we can easily take the decisions. We can take easy, we can easily take the decisions about our choice of methodology, about the choice of methods, and about the choice of about the selection of appropriate tool. So, before an appropriate lifecycle model can be chosen, general project attributes such as project size and requirement stability must be known. It is a responsibility of the system analyst, or we can say the software analyst, that he should choose the appropriate lifecycle model, and he on the basis of the project size and basis of the stable requirements. Because changing ever changing requirements, it is very much difficult to select appropriate life cycle for ever changing requirement. So analyst must choose the appropriate life cycle before and before this, he should establish the uh, project size. He should estimate the project size, exact estimation of project size, and requirement stability. He should ensure the requirement stability. Okay, so this is the essence of software lifecycle model to provide the software lifecycle model provides you the uh, appropriate as per the appropriate project size and appropriate requirement stability in the requirements. Now come to the next point, that is classical sequential software development lifecycle. The software development cycle involves the activities in the production of a software system. Pressman and Somerville in 1997 and 98 uh, given this idea and developed some phases. Generally, the software development cycle can be divided into several phases. Like the first phase is feasibility study, the second phase is requirement analysis, and third phase is system specification. Fourth phase is system and component designing. Fifth phase is implementation and component testing. Sixth phase is system testing, and last phase is operation and maintenance. Okay, this is a simple uh, illustration about the classical sequential software development lifecycle. This is the problem area, and we have to solve this problem software through some problem through client's problem through some software solution. So we have to conduct the requirement analysis first. Then after we should conduct the system specification. Then we have to design the system and components, various components of the system. Then we have to implement and component testing. Then uh, we should uh, pursue with system testing. Then system or software goes under the operation and maintenance phase. Then after we will solve. This is the complete solution of our problem. So The first phase is requirement analysis, which is based on uh, feasibility study, and uh, the phase is often included in requirement analysis is the feasibility study stage, which includes the requirement analysis. So, feasibility is the analysis of risk, analysis of cost, identification of the cost, and benefits relating to economics, related to the technology, and user organization. So, feasibility means whether you're through the feasibility study, you can find out that your proposed project is considerable or not, whether it is a technical considerable or not, it is operational considerable or not, it is political considerable or not, it is economical considerable or not. Okay, so these are some types of, although there are several types of uh, feasibility studies, but mainly, feasibility is the analysis of risks, cost, and benefits relating to economics, technology, and user organizations. And the problem to be automized is analyzed in sufficient detail to ensure that all respects of feasibility are evaluated. There are several types of feasibility study depending on the aspect they cover. Some important type of feasibilities are technical feasibility, operational feasibility, political feasibility, and economical feasibility. So all the feasibilities are equally important. Okay, let us discuss all feasibilities one by one. First is technical feasibility. In this type of feasibility analysis, alternatives for hardware, software, and general design approach are determined to be available, appropriate, and functional. Because technical skills are very much required to develop a software project. If in the absence of such type of feasibility, you cannot make a software properly. Okay, so in the technical feasibility, you need some in the technical part, you need some hardware, you need some software tools, and you need some general designing approach or design document for better understanding and criteria, better understanding and idea, and to determine the available, appropriate, and functional. So machine means hardware should be functional, software should be appropriate, design should be available. So if all these are available, we can say that our software is technical feasible. So technical issues raised during the feasibility study, uh, uh, there are some technical issues raised during the feasibility study, like does the necessary technology exists, it can be acquired to do what is suggested. Okay, so first issue is, does the necessary technology exist or not? Okay. Second issue, does the proposed equipment have the technical capacity to hold the data required to use this new system? It is a very crucial point that sometimes you have some equipments, but they are not in a working position. Sometimes you have some machinery or equipment, but they are not sufficient to do the intended task. So uh, uh, technical feasibility uh, is addressing this type of issues, like uh, what is your equipment related need, whether the available equipment is sufficient or not. Okay, will the proposed system and components provide proper responses to inquiries regardless of the number of location of users, and can the system be expanded if developed? So these all are some issues, technical issues related to the feasibility study. And lastly, are their technical uh, guarantee of accuracy, reliability, ease of access, and data security. Because nowadays security of data is an important feature for every important issue for every software, uh, every customer, and reliability, accuracy in the result, and ease of access is another technical related issue. Sometimes our network is not working, our equipments are not working properly, our supporting tools are not working properly, sometimes equipments are not working properly. So these all are technical issues, and they are raised during the technical feasibility study. Okay. Second part, second type of feasibility study is operational feasibility study. Operational feasibility is a measure of how people are able to work with the system. How people are able to work with the system means operate means this type of feasibility demands if the system will work when developed and installed. Okay. The Some questions may help to test the operational feasibility of a project, like, is there sufficient support for the project from the management and user? The first question, is there sufficient support is available for project from management and user? Okay. Sometimes user are not giving the proper response, sometimes management is not giving his valuable time to discussion with their staff members or their team, project development team. So uh, such type of operational related issues are addressed in the operational feasibility. Early involvement reduces the chances of resistance to the system and chance in general, and increases the likelihood of successful projects. So management time is an important issue, and the user time is another important issue. In the operational feasibility study, we have to address these related issues, and some issues are also there, some questions are also there. Are current business methods acceptable to the user? If they are not, user may welcome a change that will bring out a more operational and useful system. So it is the another question which is to be addressed during the operational feasibility study. Are current business methods acceptable to the user or not? Okay, it is a big question. And whether the user welcomes the new solution. Sometimes end user is restricted to do the, the way of working, existing way of working. Okay, he will not. He don't want to change his style to do the work. So, or to he's not ready to change his style of his method of working. Okay, so it is a very big question in front of the uh, system during the system study. The next question is, will the proposed system cause harm? Will the proposed system cause harm? Is the next uh, issue. So there are many several questions, like, will the system produce result in any respect or area? Will loss of control result in any area? Will accessibility of information be lost? Will individual performance be poorer after implementation than before? Will customers be affected in an undesirable way? Will it slow performance in any areas? So there are so many questions. The analysts have to address all these questions, have to resolve, have to provide the solution to all these questions. Okay, so this is the operational feasibility. The next feasibility is political feasibility. It is perhaps the most powerful type of feasibility, but it is newer, formally included in a system study document, and this involves the extent of managerial support for changes to the present system. So, political feasibility is a new idea, new concept. Sometimes, due to some political reasons, system will not perform properly, or it is not possible to make or build a system due to political hurdles. So, due to internal politics or external politics. Okay. So sometimes organization group, there are many group exist in the organization, and they provide they cause hurdles in the development of software or they cause hurdle in the development of software within the organization. So we have to address such these type of feasibility also. Economic feasibility analysis elaborates cost of special hardware, software, staffing, office space, and forth for each implementation alternative. So there is some cost associated with the purchasing of hardware, the related tools, the staffing, office space. These are cost not directly related to the development of software. It is, but it is associated with the development of software. Office space is required. It is essential thing, but and staff is a essential thing. Supporting tools and softwares, you can spend some time. You can spend on supporting hardware also. You have to spend on supporting software and tools also to build a system or to perform as per the client need. So, economic feasibility study elaborates cost of special hardwares, special softwares or tools, staffing, office space. Okay, so cost and benefit estimates on each project provides a basis for determining which project are most worthy of consideration. So, if you want to make a project in consideration, you have to also conduct the economic feasibility, whether it is economic feasible or not. Sometimes the development of software, costing of development of software is not too high, but the cost associated, uh, uh, cost of hardware, cost of software, cost of staff, cost of office space is much higher than the development cost of the software. So uh, you have to estimate, you have to consider these costs also. Each estimate can be analyzed to determine how rapidly costs are covered by benefits, to calculate both the absolute and the interest adjusted amount to access benefits, and to establish the ratio of benefits to costs. So all of these factors are considered when developing an overall sense of the project's economic feasibility. Okay, so the economic feasibility, you can say, is related to the cost and benefits of uh, acquired through the adoption of uh, special softwares, special hardwares, staffing and office space and other facilities also. Okay, so it involves estimating cost and benefits. There are mainly two types of cost and benefits. First is tangible cost and benefits. Second is intangible cost and benefits. Okay, so let us discuss about tangible cost and benefits. So tangible costs are easily estimated. Okay, uh, the cost which is easily estimated is called as tangible cost, and these includes one-time cost of developing the system and continuous cost of operating the system. So these are the examples. These are the examples of uh, tangible costs, that one-time cost of developing the system and the continuous cost of operating the system. So the development cost, one-time development cost plus continuous cost of operating the system. So operational cost and one-time cost of development of the system are considered as tangible costs. Examples of development cost are the salaries of programmers and analysts, the prices of the computer equipments, and the expenses connected with user training. Operating costs includes the salaries to computer operator and the cost of computer time and computer supplies. Okay, uh, what are the benefits of such tangible costs? There are several benefits like decreasing salaries cost by automating manual procedures, preventing costly but frequent errors, sending bills earlier in the month, and increasing control over inventory levels. So these are some benefits, tangible benefits. Includes 10 tangible benefits. Tangible costs are one-time cost of development and continuous cost of operation. And tangible benefits are decreasing salary cost by automating manual procedures and preventing costly but frequent errors. Then sending bills earlier in the month and increasing control over inventory levels are some tangible benefits uh, of the system. Now, intangible costs and benefits. What are the intangible costs and benefits? Intangible costs are usually not, uh, uh, you can say that it is not easily estimated. Okay, so examples of such costs includes those associated with the early user dissatisfaction. User dissatisfaction. You cannot estimate the level of user dissatisfaction. You cannot judge, you cannot estimate the cost uh, due to the user dissatisfaction. You cannot measure the benefits and cost due to the user's dissatisfaction. And with the problems of converting to the new system. Okay, so financial benefits must equal to exceed the financial costs. The economic and financial questions raised by analysts during the preliminary investigation seeks estimates of the cost of to conduct a full system investigation. uh, Intangible cost includes the cost to conduct a full system investigation, which is not necessary, but which is uh, how much time it will take. We don't know, so it is not calculated. It is not assumed. So the cost to conduct full system investigation, the cost of hardware and software for the class of application being considered, and the benefits in the form of reduced cost or fewer costly errors. The cost is nothing changes. The system is not developed. Okay, so these are some costs, and then intangible costs. Intangible benefits may include increasing quality of products goods produced, and upgrading or creating new customer services. We can reducing repetitive or monotonous work of employees, and developing a better understanding of the market. Such benefits may much more important than tangible benefits. Okay, because if the team is understanding the market in a better way, they 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 will provide a good solution, a best solution to the problem. If uh, we can reduce the monotonous work of the employee, we will make them more skilled, and they will help in many other dimensions in the business process. And upgrading or creating new customer services will provide us a huge database, huge customer base. Okay, but it is not measurable. Increasing quality of product goods produced is intangible benefit, because we cannot calculate the benefits produced through this uh, practice. Okay. We had discussed about economic feasibility study, like tangible cost and benefits and intangible cost and benefits. Now we will discuss about the feasibility study report, that is the outcome of this study. Okay, the outcome from this phase is a formal report called a feasibility report or system study report, and this report may contain every field of SDLC, every stage of SDLC is producing some concrete result or some in the form of some document, and the first phase of SDLC, that is preliminary investigation, where the feasibility study conducted. Uh, the name of the outcome of this phase is a formal report. We can call this as a feasibility report or system study report. Okay, so this report may contain some points like an introduction that puts the report in perspective and perhaps quotes the terms of references. So first part of this feasibility study report is the introduction. Second part is of this report is the objectives of the system. What are the objectives of the system? The third part is a commentary on how the present system achieves or fails to achieve those objectives. Okay, so com- uh, commentary on how the present system achieves or fails to achieve those objectives. Objective of the system means you have to define the problem, and why and how the previous system fails to achieve the target presented in the as the objective of the new system is properly mentioned in the report. The next one is interfaces with other systems and the implications of these interfaces. So you have to provide contents like in the feasibility study report, like general introduction about the perspective of the problem. Second is the objective of the system. Uh, Third is the commentary on how the present system achieves or fails the prescribed objectives, and fourth is of interfaces with other systems and the implications of these interfaces. Then you should mention the present operating cost and conditions, including organizational structure and staffing levels in the feasibility study report. Okay, so in and a first estimate of system development time and a related draft implementation timetable should be incorporated in the feasibility study report also. Okay, then a schedule of hardware and other requirements like availability of system at weekends should be incorporated, should be mentioned in the feasibility study report. Then you should mention the expected benefits that will acquire from the use of a new system. Why there is a need to develop a new system? It is very much important. Okay, so uh, you have to mention the expected benefits uh, that will be acquired from the use of a new system. Then you have to mention a cost benefit projection. You have to mention the conclusion and recommendations. What are your recommendations? Whether we, in conclusion, whether we go uh, to develop a new project or not. Okay, so these are some contents which a feasibility study report ensures, and you have to mention, being a system analyst, you have to mention all these things in your feasibility study report. The study report also covers some, we can say, four areas of the management. These are the very prominent areas, four areas. First is recommendation for changing the present system. Second is effects on operations. Third is effects on staffing of personnel, and fourth is detail of the change. After analyzing all the pros and cons of each project proposal, recommendations for change are made. Okay, so in the first area, the study report will cover, that is a recommendation for changing the present system. If it is recommended to develop or change a system, the report must describe how the system or the changes will affect current operations. So, effect on operations is the second area which will be covered in the study report. The third area, which is effects on staff, the effects of the new or changes system on people's job should be carefully described in the feasibility study report, and this includes everything from possible resistance to the new technology, to differences in how employees enjoy their work. So it is very much important to get an idea. It is very much important for management point of view to get an idea about the people restriction, possible restriction from the people to the new technology, and to the differences in how employees enjoy their work. Okay, and last issue, last area which is at the management point of view, which is a very important uh, area that should cover in the feasibility study report is details of the changes. All of the detailed information from interviews, preliminary cost and benefits estimation, and other analysis should be included in the feasibility study report. Okay, so uh, this is these are the four major areas uh, which will be which should be covered in the feasibility study report. So in today's class we had a discussion about software lifecycle models, introductory part of the software lifecycle models. We had a discussion on general introduction and essence of software lifecycle model. Then we have we had discussed about classical sequential software development lifecycle. We had uh, illustrated. We had discussion on this illustration, which is SDLC. The major idea about the SDLC: requirement analysis, system specification, system and component designing, implementation and component test, system test, and operation and maintenance are the major phase to solve a problem through the SDLC approach. Okay, and then we have started the first step, that is requirement analysis, and we had discussed about feasibility study and its type. There are four types of feasibility study: technical feasibility study, operational feasibility study, political feasibility study, and economic feasibility study. And we had an idea about, we had a view about the various types of feasibility study. Then under the economic feasibility study, we had an idea about tangible cost. What are the tangible cost and benefits? What is the meaning of intangible cost and benefits? Okay, and lastly, we had discussed about the feasibility study report. What is the purpose of feasibility study report? What are the contents of feasibility study report? And what why what are the areas, four areas that uh, at the management point of view, which is important, uh, like recommendations for changes in the present system, and effects on operation, what are the effects on staff, and details of the change, which is the management point of view. It is management is very much concerned about these four things about the project. Now it is the time of assessment, and we have let us self check our uh, self-assess our knowledge about these topics. Assessment through multiple choice questions. First question is depending on the result of the initial investigation, that is preliminary investigation. The survey is expanded to a more detailed. So the answer is feasibility study. You can in the feasibility study you can conduct a survey. You can check the consideration of whether the system whether the proposed software is considerable or not. So the answer is feasibility study. The key consideration, second question, the key consideration that involves in the feasibility analysis is uh, the key consideration of all types of feasibility studies related to the uh, uh, for the key consideration like economic feasibility is needed, technical feasibility is needed, behavioral feasibility is needed, political feasibility is needed, all type of feasibility are needed. So the answer is all of the above. The next question, the problem dash the problem definitions is crystallized and aspect of the problem to be included in the system are determined. So feasibility study, in the feasibility study, the problem definition is crystallized and aspect of the problem to be included in the system are determined. So it is because only after the feasibility conduction of and completion of the feasibility study, you can start the analysis process, you can start the designing process, and you can start the testing process. This is a sequence. So the feasibility study is the first part of first step of the problem definition. Okay, so answer is B. In the next question, most important aspect of system design focuses on what? Focuses on economic and technical feasibility, right? Operational feasibility, right? And developing end user information needs, right? So all of these are the answer of this question because all are important in the uh, for the system designing purposes. Whether a proposed system can provide right information for the organization staff fall under the study of operational feasibility. Yes, staff, right? Provide the right information to the organization staff is the part of operational feasibility. Not it is not the part of technical because technical feasibility is related to the hardware and software and supporting tools, and economic feasibility is related to cost and benefits. So the operational feasibility is related to the information, right information for the organization staff. In the next question, the detailed study of the present system is frequently referred to as system analysis. Okay, so the detailed study of the system is frequently referred to as system analysis, not the feasibility study, because feasibility study only provides you the idea whether the system is considerable or not, but the detailed study you can what is the purpose of system analysis is to perform a detailed study of the system. The next major step before system design and after feasibility study is analysis activity. Yes, I said earlier that it is a sequential in the SDLC. After the feasibility study, the next step is analysis activity. So analysis activity is the next is the right answer. Then in the eighth question, costs are easily estimated. What type of costs are easily estimated? Only tangible costs are easily estimated. In the ninth question, dash is the outcome of the feasibility study. So the feasibility report is the outcome of feasibility study because so the answer is A. Okay. The last question is dash costs are not easily estimated. So what is the answer? Answer is B. Tangible intangible costs are not easily estimated. Okay, so these are some questions, sample questions. You have to assess yourself about uh, that what is the answer of these all questions. Okay, uh, for more information, you can find out. You can consult with these reference books, and you can find out each and every reply of your query in these books. Thank you.